Welcome to Designing Spaces, Think Green, a show that's all about you, your living space, and living a more eco-friendly lifestyle. I'm your host, Ted Brunson. Today we must look at the environment as part of our economy, health, and community. The air we breathe, the water so necessary for life, and the energy required to power civilization must all be integrated into what we like to call a green lifestyle. A healthy environment means healthier lifestyles for all of us. Designing Spaces knows that it's time to take care of our home, the ultimate living space, planet Earth. How we as individuals affect the environment starts in the home. New designs and materials are now available to help make our houses more energy efficient and healthier for our lifestyles.
Soybeans, the scientific name for them is glycine mac. This species of legumes is known for adding nitrogen back into the ground and adding protein into diets. It also offers twice as much protein per acre than any other vegetable crop. But there's a lot more to the picture than meets the eye. To help explain a little bit more, Mike Fusco with Urethane Soy Systems joins us today on Think Green. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about polyols first.
Polyols are the building blocks of plastics. All plastics are created by reacting a polyol with other chemicals.
And then what is polyurethane?
Polyurethane is a specific kind of plastic. The seats in your car, furniture seats, cushions in your couch, the dashboard of your car, insulation in your home are all examples of polyurethanes.
And how does this all play into bio-renewable?
Bio-renewable is the ability to recreate your product every year instead of using it up and destroying it like we do with petrochemical-based products. We grow soybeans every year, we recreate the oil, we recreate the polyol.
Trucks full of soybeans arrive at the plant, and the soybeans are sampled for quality. Those beans that meet the quality standards are dropped in the conveyor system. The beans are then moved to a drying silo where the moisture is reduced to a processing level. The beans are moved to a hopper which separates them into a machine where they are heated to remove the hulls and fibers. Others are ground up for later use. Then they are moved to the flakers, where the beans are crushed into flakes. These flakes are moved to the extraction building. Here, the oil that has been turned into polyol is tested at various stages of production to assure that strict adherence to quality procedures is followed. We've been talking a lot about bio-renewable, but what's the difference between bio-renewable and biodegradable?
I'm glad you asked that question because it comes up a lot. Bio-renewable simply means that the material we're creating can be grown every year. It's biologically renewable, it can be regrown. We don't use it, destroy it, it's over. Biodegradable means at the end of its useful life, you put it into a landfill and it decomposes back to its original chemicals. Urethane is not biodegradable, and even though we're using soy, which in and of itself may be biodegradable, it's still urethane when we make it. It is not biodegradable.
Now we've got one more lab to see.
We do. That's the formulation lab. Let's head over that way now.
In the formulation lab, polyol is turned into urethane plastics. The chemical engineers create winning combinations, which are mixed in various machines, all to produce foams for many purposes.
This is an example of what we do. The customer came to us and said, I need a seat that meets a specific set of parameters. We'll come into the lab, we'll start to mix things, we'll start to make seats, we'll start to make little changes here and there to get to the customer exactly what it is he asked for. This is what we're talking about when we talk about the same quality. The petrochemical supplier currently for the customer told the customer he can't help him, but we take it on because we want to make sure that people understand that the soy oil that we make is a polyol that delivers the same quality as the existing petrochemical polyols.
Mike, we've had a fascinating day today going from the field to the factory. We really appreciate your time and that of the team at Urethane Soy Systems for taking us around and for helping lessen America's dependence on petrochemicals. Where can folks go if they want to learn more?
We have a website, soyol.com.
And of course, you can also go to designspaces.tv and click on the Think Green section. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to think green. I'm Jolene Loetscher in Volga, South Dakota.
For Designing Spaces, Think Green, I'm Ted Brunson. See you next time.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.
Welcome to Designing Spaces, Think Green, a show that's all about you, your living space, and living a more eco-friendly lifestyle. I'm your host, Ted Brunson. Today we must look at the environment as part of our economy, health, and community. The air we breathe, the water so necessary for life, and the energy required to power civilization must all be integrated into what we like to call a green lifestyle. A healthy environment means healthier lifestyles for all of us. Designing Spaces knows that it's time to take care of our home, the ultimate living space, planet Earth. Very cool and very smart. This is Smart's new all-electric drive vehicle. Check this out. It's got 84 miles per charge, or 4 to 5 hours of city driving. Personally, I can't think of a better way to reduce your carbon footprint than driving an all-electric vehicle. When you first look at this car, you say, wow, that thing is just way too small. But when you look actually in the back area, it really does have a lot of trunk space. I mean, I can get my golf clubs and my wife's in there. What is this? This is, well, it's a portable charger. We mentioned earlier that this car is all electric, and I'm going to prove it to you. Right here, this is not a gas tank. This is the charging station. So you just plug this bad boy in, like that, click. So you just plug this end into the wall. You charge this thing up. In a few hours, you're good to go. Let's take a look inside of what you got. You know, there's actually a lot of room in this car. I'm 6 feet. You could be about 6'4", 6'5", and be really comfortable. And with some room for groceries or golf clubs or whatever. Now, right now the car is on. You can't even hear it. I'll turn it off. Now let's turn it back on. And it's on. You hear no engine whatsoever because it's a battery right below where I'm sitting. Good stereo. We're not going to crank that up right now, but here's something I find really interesting. First of all, we've got about 29% left on the battery. That should get us, I would say, about 30 miles before we have to recharge this thing. This is your gauge about how the battery's doing. When you hit the gas, it goes to minus or negative, obviously. I say gas because we're all used to saying gas. When you hit the acceleration pedal, it hits the minus. When you're coasting, if you're in a mountainous region, you're coasting down a hill, it actually goes to plus and it charges the battery while you're coasting. When you're sitting idle, it does not charge it, but if you're coasting down a nice little road, you're actually charging your battery. Not bad. For Designing Spaces, Think Green, I'm Ted Brunson. See you next time.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.
Welcome to Designing Spaces, Think Green, a show that's all about you, your living space, and living a more eco-friendly lifestyle. I'm your host, Ted Brunson. Today we must look at the environment as part of our economy, health, and community. The air we breathe, the water so necessary for life, and the energy required to power civilization must all be integrated into what we like to call a green lifestyle. A healthy environment means healthier lifestyles for all of us. Designing Spaces knows that it's time to take care of our home, the ultimate living space, planet Earth. For Designing Spaces, Think Green, I'm Ted Brunson. See you next time.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.
For Designing Spaces, Think Green, I'm Ted Brunson. See you next time.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.
For Designing Spaces, Think Green, I'm Ted Brunson. See you next time.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.
For Designing Spaces, Think Green, I'm Ted Brunson. See you next time.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.